Hey kids, how are you? Hope you've had a nice day at school or homeschooling. Today is Wednesday, so we're halfway through the week with just 2 more days after today of our quick draw 5-day week. And today we're going to do a cute little pug, a pug dog. Everybody loves pugs. Daisy loves pugs. Everybody's pug crazy at the moment. It's funny, isn't it, how those sort of things go in and out of fashion. We've got a pug cushion down in our play area. Harry's got some kind of neck cushion. In fact, I'm going to go and get it and show you. I think you'll quite like this. Just while you're all getting your pens and pencils around, let me show you. This is how pug crazy in our house we are. Okay, so he had this for his birthday from that shop Typo. And it's like a neck cushion with a pug on top. So maybe I should do the whole art class like this today. I can be the pug. If any of you have got TikTok, you'll find a really funny TikTok that I did with my daughter, going, "Who let the dogs out?" Woof, 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 woof. And that's the sort of thing I like to get up to in my spare time. But yeah, it's one of those neck cushion things, so you can't take it off, but it's got a bit of a hood. And he wears it to bed, or I tell you when he wears it, is if he's got told off by me and he's had a bit of a tantrum. He goes in his bedroom and he gets in the closet and he sticks this on like this and has a bit of a sulk, I think. Shh, don't tell him I told you that. Obviously, because otherwise he'll be annoyed. Let's not get that. All right, so what do we need? I'm at home. We're doing our pug today and we are going to do it quite simply with pencils. That's what the week's about, keeping it simple, keeping it easy. You'll need something circular to draw around. Now, look what I'm using. Do, 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 do. Kids, what is that? You're all going, I've never seen one of those things, but it's shiny and it's delicious and it's gorgeous. That, my friends, is computing in my day. In fact, that's not true. When I was at school, when I was your age, they didn't even have computers. Well, not really. We sort of had these very basic things, which are more like glorified typewriters. Then came along the floppy disk, which was a thing. When you did your work, it saved it on it. Then came this, which was the CD-ROM. Or you might have mum and dad might have in their house some old CDs which had music. This is a data one. And they're fantastic. I have to say, I do keep them for art because look at those. If you chop these up, they make the most amazing mosaic tiles. So if you've got these at home and they're not being used for anything, snip them up into bits and let the kids mosaic with them. Fantastic. Or you can hang them in the trees for mobiles, whatever. Anyway, this is what I'm going to use for my circle today. If you haven't got one of these, then you could just use... well, look at the size of it. It's bigger than a cup, but it's not as big as a plate. So it's somewhere in between, like the lid of a peanut butter, something like that, something circular that you can draw on, okay? So you're going to need that. You're going to need your trusty friend, Mr. HB, and you're going to need a rubber if you think you're going to make any mistakes. Boom, boom. And some coloured pencils for afterwards. So I'm going to ditch my pug head. Otherwise, I'm going to absolutely boil. And I'm going to flip it round and let's get started, okay? All right, here we go, guys. Okay, so there's my bit of paper. Let's turn on Daisy's lamp so we got just a little bit more light. There we go. I won't put the blind up because otherwise you can't see anything. Okay, so we're going to do this really cute pug with a giant head. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw round my CD-ROM, or if you've got a plate or a bowl or something like that, you're going to draw round your bowl, okay? So I'm going to, let me work out how to do this. I'm going to tip you up like this and put you there, and then you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to draw round my CD-ROM, and this is the head of my pug, okay? So right in the middle, at the top of my paper, I'm going to draw round my CD-ROM, okay? So you can see it's going to be one of those kind of like wobbly head pugs because it's going to be a nice big head. Wobbly head pug. All right, Then you're going to need something else circular to draw around, which I don't have, but I'm just looking on Daisy's desk and she's got a sellotape thing, and that is about the right size. So I'm just going to take out her sellotape. So it's one of those kind of like little sellotape caddies. You could have a big pen lid or a glue stick, something like that, just something circular. And this is going to be for our eyes. So I'm going to draw my 2 eyes and I'm going to show you where I'm going to draw them. If you want to just go and draw them yourself, go ahead. I don't mind that at all. But today, I'm also going, hey, sometimes it's good to draw around things. So it's good to mix it up and show you different techniques. All right, so now you can see I've got my circle and I've got my 2 other circles either side. One side and the other side, all right? And the next bit we're going to put in is the bit which is, if I was wearing my pug head, it's the bit that, what do you call that? The muzzle that's like, the scrunched up bit. And to do that, we need to do like a rainbow between the eyes. So from one side, the bottom of the head, right up and right down. So I'm going to show you that so you can copy. From the bottom of the head, I went right up and right down. And we're keeping our pug simple today, guys. He's just going to be a cutesy pootsy little pug. Doo-doo-doo. Have to think of a name. Could be Polly. Is it a girl? Maybe. Let's make it a girl. We've had 2 boys. Let's make it a girl. We had Tommy the... What did I do first? Oh no, Sid the sloth. And then we had Tony the toucan. So let's call this one Polly. I'm going to write Polly up here. Polly the pug. In that case, I'm going to give her... Oh, it's gone backwards for you, but you get the idea. Okay, once we've done that, we're going to put in the pug's eyes. And I'm going to use my sellotape. I'm going to flip it around and show you. I'm going to use my sellotape to align it to one side of my eye, look. And that's how I'm going to do a really good crescent. And I'm going to do it on one side, then I'm going to do it on the other side. All right, on one side, then on the other side. So let me put you back there. And you can see my happy face, smiling away. It's quite warm in Daisy's bedroom, actually. I was downstairs and I was a lot colder, but I'm going to take my scarf off. Okay, so they're like half moons. And you can see I've just gone over there. That's okay, we're just going to get our rubber and we rub that a little bit out and it's all good. Beautiful. Now inside this part of our doggy, we're going to do 2 circles, which are the pupil of the eye, okay? All right, super easy. And this one, I'm just going to freehand. So I'm just going to do 2 circles inside, and then I'm going to do 2 little highlight bubbles above the eyeballs. And I know it looks a bit funny at the moment, but when we colour him in, it will start to look much better. Her. I should say her. It's a her. Let's put some eyelashes on her, and then we won't forget that it's a little girl. So there's my eyelashes. I'm going to do a couple of little eyebrows as well, which looks kind of strange at the moment because we haven't got in the rest of the pug's face. But once we put the pug's face in, I think it'll start to look good. All right, so the pug's face, the jaw is like this bit. So this bit here is right up round the nose, but the mouth always looks like he's in a bit of a bad mood, doesn't he? Always looks like he's a bit unhappy. So we're going to do an upside down mouth. It's a smaller version of that rainbow. I'm going to put a couple of teeth that usually stick out over the gum. I'm going to put his nose and the bit that goes down from his nose. So now he's starting to get that pug face. Her. Now she's starting to get, I'm going to have to keep remembering that she call her a girl. Now she's starting to get that pug face and she's starting to look super cute. So we need to put in some ears, and the ears are going to go one down this side and one down this side. And they're basically like round sausages. They go out a little bit. I'm going to turn this round so that you can see it at the same time. Hang on, let me flip you round. There we go. So the ears are going to come out from the top of the head, and they're going to come out, around and down to about where the eye is. And Polly's other ear is going to be out the same. So it's going to go out, around, down and under. Now that looks a bit more like a dog. And because I've called mine Polly and it's a girl, I think I'm going to put a bow in her hair, or in his head, her head. So I'm going to put a little bow here. If you want to do a bow as well, you can. If it's a little boy, maybe you don't want to. And if it was a boy, you might want to do a piece of hair like this. I'm just going to do just a few little tufts on the top. Like that. Hello, Polly. How are you? I'm very well, thank you. Ruff, 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 ruff. All right. Now let's put in the body. Now the body's going to be much smaller because we want it to look like one of those wobbly head puppies. Okay? So the body's going to be smaller. So don't be shocked when it looks smaller and out of proportion. It is supposed to. The first thing we're going to do is go from about where the mouth is here. And we're going to do a slight curve down. So why don't you draw it nice and softly so that you don't make a mess or you don't get the wrong curve. Nice and softly. And then once you've drawn that curve, we're going to put in the front leg. So it's got a bit of a curve there, then down into a sausagey round and back up. Very simple legs, very simple front leg. No major details at this stage. Now, if that curve went through the leg, find out where it'd go through, about there. So it would be curved right through the leg. Let me go in close so you can see. So if the curve carried on swooping through, it'd go there. Picks up there and carries on. And that's going to be the tummy. So you don't need to do this dotted line. That was just for me to show you. So I'll rub that back out. You can see the curve goes down and around. Down and around. And now we've got that front bit, the chest of our pug, we can put in his other leg. So his other leg is going to come out from the back. And I'm just going to tuck it in just there. So the two legs are kind of together. We might want to put a couple of paw claws in them. Like that. And now I know that shape. I'm going to press and I'm just going to curve the toes and press a bit darker. And that's our two legs at the front. I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to press that nice and dark now because I'm happy with that curve. The tummy's good as well, so I'm going to press that line in darker. We're nearly done. What a good drawing. Well done, guys. So the back of his bottom, or her bottom, is going to come out. So if you where the eye is, go underneath the eye to where the cheek is, and it's going to come out from about there. Okay? And we're going to not give him too much of a back, because we want her to be short and cute. So just a little curve for her back. Let me just rub out that first line I did because it wasn't quite curvy enough. And then we're going to go round for the bottom. And I'm just doing it in soft pencil, using the side of my pencil. Round, keep going round so it's lower, and you want to get to about the same length as that front leg. But the back leg has a curve there. So it has two curves, one that way, one that way. Then it curves in, and then this is the paw. So then you go 1, 2, 3, and that's the back paw. And once you've got the right shape, then you can press your pencil a bit harder, and you can draw in that line. If you've got extra lines, you can rub them out once you've got that drawn in. Oh, it's so cute. And I'm going to put in his other back leg, but I'm just going to put in, I'm going to do it nice and close so you can see. I'm just going to put in his paw that's at the back there so that you can see that his back leg is in behind. In fact, I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to rub it out. Don't do that. I don't think we need it. Let's keep that one there, that one there. There, like that. So we need to bring it down a bit more. Where I put it in before, it made it look like it was its private parts. And we don't want that, do we? Otherwise we'll have lots of giggles. So I've got his back leg. I've made his back leg a bit longer. Her back leg a bit longer. We don't want any silliness there. There you go. All right, so that's his legs. The only final thing to put in is the little cutesy tail. And obviously it's one of those little curly whirly tails. It's a bit like a pigtail, isn't it? A big curly pigtail. Now you can, if you want to, make him have, or her, have all those crinkly lines, because he does tend to have kind of crinkly frown lines. So I'm just going to put in some crinkly frown lines. I'm not going to make Polly look ugly, but just enough so that we all know that it's the pug. Those crinkly frown lines. Now let's get colouring. I'm going to use my brown. And I'm going to use, I think, an orange and a yellow today. And most pugs have brown eyes, but because I've done a little girl, I'm going to give her blue eyes. So if you want your pug to have brown eyes, then you colour in this piece here using a brown pencil. Or you might want green eyes or rainbow eyes or whatever colour eyes you want. Don't forget to send me a copy of your drawing. I love seeing them. I can see how you all have a different idea than me then, can't I? You might want to put a collar on your dog, or some shoes, or what else might you like to do? Maybe your dog's got a puppy, a little friend. Maybe your dog is on holiday and you might want to put him somewhere like skiing, or at the beach, or maybe he's at home at your house and you want to draw his bed where your puppy sleeps. You can add all those bits yourself and then send me a picture so I can see how fabulous your ideas are, because they will be. They're always way better than my ideas, that's for sure. Okay, so when we do our black pupil, it's just this piece here, okay? Not that one there, that's a highlight. It's just that big circle in the eye. Like that. So there's the eyes looking all gorgeous. Now the pug has very specific features. This part and the feet are the darkest part. So I'm going to use my dark brown. And I'm using the dark brown for the muzzle. And then usually the pug is a kind of grey brown, isn't it, the rest of its colour? But if you want to change it up, like we did the sloth, then change it up. Make it green or whatever your favourite colour is, or make it a fantasy dog. You can colour your pug whatever colour you like. So I'm making that bit there. That is usually the dark bit of the brown colour. And the same with the ears. So I'm moving over to colour these ears. Like that. And the same with this ear. And I have to say, I think usually the bottom of the tail is usually a dark colour. It might be a, I think it's usually a brown, well, it's usually the brown colour as well, isn't it? So just colouring in the ear. And I'll do the bottom end of his brown tail. I'm only going to do it halfway, like I've just said. And then his toes. Keep saying his, but it's a her. Polly the pug. And that back foot. And that back foot. All right, so that's all the brown area that we're going to colour it in. Just use my pencils for that. Try and get rid of all your white spots so it's nicely coloured. Got a few white spots there, look, on the ear. Try and get a nice even colouring. All right, now I want to give him a grey-brown finish, so look what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my pencil very softly, and I'm just going to give it one coat of brown to start with. It's a very light coat, so I'm hardly pushing. So I'm getting a really light coverage of light brown. And the same with the face. We're going to just mind the eyes, the whites of the eyes, but you can go around the rest of the face. We'll just get that light brown to start with. I think I might do a lovely pink bow at the top because she's ill. And then I'm going to get the grey, what colour is this? That's blue, I think. Let me just have a look. Yeah, that's blue. I'm looking for the black. There it is. Okay, now with the black, I'm going to do exactly the same pressure than I did with the brown. I'm going to put it over the brown, and that will give us that lovely puggy colour, which is kind of like a grey brown, isn't it? So as you can see, I'm twisting my paper round with my fingers, and that's so my pencil is going, because I did my brown strokes in verticals, by doing this, horizontal strokes, look. Sorry, my grey strokes in horizontal, and it's going to fill up any white area. So I'm getting like a double colour going in opposite directions. I'll keep turning it round. And I'm just doing exactly the same amount of pressure as that brown, but I'm just using grey, or actually it's a black pencil, but I'm just pushing it enough to get a grey out, and that is the perfect colour for my pug. If you wanted to make him different colour though, please do. If you want to make him, maybe he's been to the pooch parlour and he's had a bit of a hair colour. There's a lot of us that have dyed their hair in isolation. Maybe your pooch has as well. All right, so we've done the head. Let me just show you how that looks. So you can see that you've got that different colour, but it's nice and solid. The colour is nice and solid as opposed to my streaky brown there. If you've got a dog, hopefully you've been able to take him out now at the dog park, because they've opened all the dog parks, haven't they? I was out with my family for Mother's Day on Sunday, and we went past the dog park, and it had loads of dogs in it. It was so cute. Seeing all those doggies out. I mean, we haven't got a dog in our house. We've got a cat. But my kids love dogs. As you've seen when I was wearing that silly pug head hat just a minute ago. So, nice soft black coverage with a black pen. And once I've done that nice soft colour, now I'm going to press a bit harder to get some of the shadowy areas, okay? So, where do you think the shadowy areas are? Let me have a think. Well, the shadowy areas, look at my wrist here. Where things crack and where things bend, or if something's on top of something, it creates a shadow. Yeah? So you can see a shadow in my wrist, and you can see a shadow from the light. So where the head is on top of the body, right underneath there, it's going to be darker. So all I do is I press a bit harder with my black pencil, or you could use the brown pencil, and it will give that lovely area of shadow, which helps to make him or her a little bit more three-dimensional. Here, where that front, this leg here, we want that leg there to look like it's in front of its chest. So we do a little bit of dark just there. Likewise, just where the back leg meets the body, we do a little bit of darkness there. And we need to do the same. So the back leg is definitely going to be in shadow because it's at the back of the body. And then there'll be a little bit of shadow there where that leg just joins the tummy. And a little bit of shadow on, just a little bit, just to make that leg pop forward. And all of a sudden, you can see that our pug has a little bit more dimension, which means he doesn't look so flat. He looks a bit more three-dimensional. Okay, we need to give him a black nose. Our funny little pug boy. Girl. My goodness, am I ever going to get it right? It's a girl! Now, I'm going to have a look. Let me put this pen... I'm going to flip you back to me. I'm going to flip you back to me. And let's see if... Let's get rid of that. And let's see if I can find... in Daisy's pencil case. I just fell you down. Sorry. You just fell down. That's what it's like in my life. You know that. It's all a bit random. So I'm just looking at a pencil case. Could be dangerous when you've got a teenager. Who knows? But I like to show you that I'm just using whatever I've got. I'm in Daisy's bedroom. Shh. Okay, I got this. I found a brown Sharpie. She's also got some twisties and another cool pencil, but I'm going to use the Sharpie. And I'm going to go round my pug using this brown Sharpie instead of a black pen. You could use a black pen, but actually the brown pen is perfect. You could, so yesterday, if you remember, with our toucan, I went round it, well, we used the same pencils, but do you remember I kept dipping it in the water and it came out like paint? And then the week before, my goodness, it's not a week, it's only 2 days. On Monday, we did Sid the Sloth and we just coloured him in like we've done today. We did some dual colour blending, didn't we? Where we put two colours on top of each other for the wood. And that's what we've done today for our pug's body. So it's really cool to think that even if you don't have exactly the right colours, you've got options. Your options are, you either change the colour up and make it whatever colour you want, because ultimately it's your drawing. So if you want it to be a orange and green dog, let it be an orange and green dog. I love that. Dogs, cats, whatever you draw, your decision is 100% right, and don't let anybody else tell you any different. One of my biggest problems with school art is that it's far too prescriptive, and I know that kids have to hit certain milestones and they have to learn certain things, but at the end of the day, in my opinion, and when I was at school, kids, I was a little bit maverick, I'm not going to lie, which means I was a little bit naughty. I went outside the lines. Oh! And I was okay with that, actually. I did get in trouble, yes, that's not something you want to particularly copy, but the point is that I'm trying to say is that in order to be creative, people have to be allowed to design things themselves. They have to make their own choices up, don't they? So, of course, I'm here to guide you and I'm here to help you work out how to get there. But when it comes to putting your own spin on that, oh yeah, definitely. You make your own choices, kids. You decide. And shall I tell you what? Sometimes when I'm trying to teach Harry, he turns round and that's my youngest, and he's the one that's a little bit like me. He turns round and he says, "Look, Mum, you're always saying, just do what you want to do." And then I don't really have much to say about that, do I? Because that is true. That is exactly what I say. I say, be yourself, be loud and proud, own your own stuff, and don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. That's my view on that. All right, I've just gone round all of my pug with my pen. And now I'm just going to do a couple of extra texture lines while I've got this pen because I quite like it. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing. So I've just done a few, and his wobbly, curly worry lines, or those fold lines of his face. I've done those in the brown. There it is. There's my pug dog. She is Polly the pug, and she's really cute. She's got a little pink bow, and she is off down the dog park. She's going for some action. She's going to go and see a friend. So you can see, I'll just bring it close. You can see I did a few little black lines there just on his chest. And just on her worry lines, I gave her some beautiful eyelashes. And she is so good to go. So, I hope you've had fun doing your pug today. I'd love to see what personal touches you've put on yours. And I'm going to finish off drawing where this pug is. I'll take a photograph and you can come back and see it later. All right, I'll make it a surprise. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we are drawing Tommy the turtle. And then finishing up on Friday with clever Clive the cat. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.